Grindworks. Today I am talking about the Kershaw launch series. You don't really need to worry about, whether one is better than the other action-wise. So you just pick the one that you like and you know you're getting a great knife. Ooh, you know what we should do? We should just open them all in sequence. So it's just like bam, 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 bam. How's it going, guys? This is Holly with Grindworks. Today I am talking about the Kershaw launch series. Great knives, made in the USA, automatic action, some of the best automatic knives you can get for the money. But we're going to talk today about all the different varieties, pros and cons. So let's start with the one that started it all. This is the Kershaw Launch 1. Currently running for $99.95 on the site. 3.375 inch blade, 8 inches overall, just under 4 ounces. That is a CPM 154 steel blade. In fact, all of the launch series use the same blade steel. It's a clip point blade with a flat grind. And if I remember correctly, I've talked about this particular knife in a previous video and about how much I just love the ergonomics of the handle. It's honestly one of the most comfortable knives I've held. It's got a great shape, a very subtle curve on the top of the blade there. And who doesn't love that little bullseye firing button? It's the best. The pocket clip is reversible, can be right or left carry. And of course that action, man. I've learned to hold on a little tighter. Last time I just about sent it across the room. Next up, we're going to look at launch number 2. This is currently $114.95. Also a 3.375 inch blade. This one is stone washed rather than coated. Really cool sleek handle with this milling right down the center. Just under 8 inches overall, 3.4 ounces, drop point blade. Especially with this gray color, this one just really makes me think of looks like a shark or something. It really has a cool look about it. Comfortable in hand. Ergonomics aren't quite as great. I'm a little worried about the placement of this curve here. I mean, it's great for retention in this direction, but I worry about your hand slipping up into the blade there. So I think a choil would have been good, but it seems that somebody else had the same thought because launch number 3 has the finger choil. It overall has a very similar look to it comparatively. But yeah, we've got a finger choil and we've got jimping on the spine of the blade there. So somebody went, number 2 needs some improvements. So number 3 is $109.99 currently on the site. Also 3.375 inches in blade length. So far the first 3 launch series knives have the same length blade, 7 3/4 inches overall, 3.5 ounces, same blade steel, drop point blade, flat grind. First one with jimping. And dig in the OD green, man. That's one of my favorite things about this whole series is just all the colors that the knives come in. There used to even be a purple, red, there's colors that aren't even on this table right now. Ooh, you know what we should do? We should just open them all in sequence. So it's just like bam, 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 bam. Here we go. You ready for this? Are you ready for this? You know what's really cool about this too? These are all literally right out of the box. I didn't even test them before I opened them on camera. Get them all lined up nice and pretty here. And there you go. All right, pick up where I left off. Launch number 4, $74.99 on the site. Man, really dig that stonewash, man. Very pretty. Just under a 2-inch blade, 1.90 inches, just over 5 inches overall, less than 2 ounces. The spear point blade is probably my favorite part of this thing. It's little, but it's got an attitude. No jimping and only one position for that pocket clip versus you have at least one other option for pocket clip placement. But the 4, he is small, but he is mighty. Love this little guy. And he is California legal. Woot woot. So you guys in California can have fun too. Now launch 5, a little bit of a departure because this is an Emerson design. Emerson logo. About $120 on the site. 3.5 inch blade, 8 1/4 inches overall, about 4 ounces, CPM 154, clip point blade. And we've got a little bit of jimping here. Clearly has some good ergonomics. And the milling in that sort of butterfly wing looking milling in the handle actually really assists with the grip. Your fingers can kind of get into the grooves there. So that's pretty cool. So I mean, overall, I don't particularly like the look of this knife, but it does feel nice in hand. And of course it's got the great action that the rest of them do. And a really cool, blue that's not quite teal. You're not quite sure what it's trying to be, but it's a cool color. Okay, launch number 6. This is the biggest one of the group so far. Got a little factory oil on the blade there. There we go, that's better. So this one comes in also at about $120 right now. It's 3.75 inches Blade length, a very impressive 8.7 inches overall. So this is a beast of a knife. Not terribly heavy though, lighter than the Launch 1. It's 3.8 ounces. Same blade steel, drop point blade, no jimping. But really interesting design on the handle there. It's the first one with first and only with a lanyard hole. And no lanyard hole in the face of the scales. Instead, the lanyard hole has been moved to this very clever space back here. Which I'm like, what's the point of all this fancy milling and color and stuff if you can't bling it up even more with, you know, some glow-in-the-dark paracord and a zombie face bead, right? I mean, that's what we all get these things for. It's just pocket candy. Nah, I know you guys actually use these things. And this is probably my favorite color so far, is this really cool bronze that just pairs so well with that coated blade. It's just unique. It's not a color I've really seen on any other knife. I just think it's a really fantastic color. Last but not least, Launch 7. This is also designed by somebody outside of Kershaw, Tim Gallian. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. So this is the 7, also $120, also a 3.75 inch blade, just over 8.5 inches overall, 3.25 ounces, clip point blade, and a finger choil, yay! Also the only one with a backspacer. Every single one of these other ones kind of has the backspacer integrated into the handle already. So I do think it's kind of cool to have this contrasting piece in the back there. That's kind of cool. It's got this really interesting, like, I don't know, I just think of like space shuttles when I look at this thing. This really interesting milling on the handle, really different, unique sort of angles everywhere. It's definitely kind of out there. It makes me want to, you know, look up the designer and see what other stuff he's done. And probably the best shade of blue thus far. So there you have it. All of the current members of the Launch series. I know there are a few more coming out, which I'm super excited about. And you can bet that when they are on the scene, I will be doing a review of those as well. But my thoughts on the current series. So again, I love all the different colors. I love that each blade and each handle is unique. Like 2 and 3, you know, look fairly similar in design, but other than that, I mean, they all kind of have their own personality and own feel, which I think is awesome. Because then each knife has the same great action, so you don't really need to worry about, you know, whether one is better than the other action-wise. Like, they're all awesome. So you just pick the one that you like, and you know you're getting a great knife. I love that they're all made in the USA. I really, you know, like supporting USA made products. So that's just another plus. So if I had to choose a favorite, I would probably say 1, simply, again, because I love the way it fits in the hand. I feel like I could use it, you know, over and over and over again for a pretty extended length of time. I also really like the 2. I'm gonna say that that's purely superficial though, just because I think it looks pretty. And of course the 4, because it's tiny, and I just think the size and the action, it has some spunk, you know? It's like, yeah, just a cool knife. So if you've got a Launch, make sure you like this video and comment which one you have. I mean, there's so many options here, and you know, so many different variances to suit different preferences and things that you like, that I feel like we could get a really healthy debate going here in the comments, and I would love to see that happen. Major brownie points if you have all of them. So seriously, if you have them all, drop me a comment. Again, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe. Click that little notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a good one.